What's going on, people? Welcome to episode 7 of the Incredible podcast. We've got my apprentice here, Samuel Tilby. There's his Instagram name and there's mine, so give us a follow. Please subscribe if you're new. And we're just going to have a chat in this one, I think. Officially introduce you all to him. Let me just turn this down real quick. There we go. Not much feedback now, so that's cool. So how are you finding it, bro?
Yeah, tattooing is people make it look a lot easier than it actually is. As I've first picked up a tattoo gun, don't get me wrong, I feel much more comfortable now, having done it for a little while and quite a lot over the period of time that I have been learning to tattoo. It feels a bit better now, but at first it was a very weird object. And obviously, because pens that you use growing up,
are
just normal sized pens, whereas these are a bit bigger. But you do realise that it's actually more of a benefit to have the thicker grip. When you learn to hold it and it doesn't feel so weird. Yeah, it's going good. It's going good. I'm hungry to get better. I'm finding it hard, but
yeah, I mean, that's definitely an interesting point about the thicker grip, because I've definitely found that using a thicker grip definitely takes a wobble out of your hand, especially with lining. And you're not really from an artistic background, are you? You're quite a creative person. You're quite
yeah. I mean, I've dabbled in a few things, but I mean, in career-wise, I work in construction, so it doesn't really go hand in hand with this at all. It's more of a something I've just always been fascinated by. Growing up in secondary school, I decided that I'm going to be full of tattoos one day, and I just that's a lot of people change their mind over time, the things they like, and that's just kind of one thing that's stuck with me. I love tattoos. I mean, I hate getting tattooed, but
oh mate, I fucking hate getting tattooed.
I love tattoos. I think they're amazing. I think you can. A lot of people prejudge you based on your tattoos, but if you are in this industry and or if you like tattoos in general, you can normally just kind of tell a story in a way about someone. You know what I mean? Where you get certain people who have the trad stuff or just trad stuff, and then you get the people with just realism. You just kind of just know a bit about them without even having to speak to them. You know what I mean?
What's your favourite style of tattooing?
What I want to get into, or what I really find aesthetically pleasing?
Both.
So I really want to get into. I want to learn to do black and grey realism.
Yeah.
I'm not big on colour. I don't dislike colour tattoos. It's just not for me. I can really appreciate a good piece when I see it. And now, learning a bit more about tattooing, I understand what a good piece actually is compared to something that just looks pretty cool, like when you don't know anything. I love the whole calligraphy, script type stuff. I love that stuff. It'd be amazing to learn that. I've watched a few videos on how to create your own scripts and stuff like that, and I'm currently practicing on my iPad. But it's definitely, fingers crossed. I've done my first one, and even though I'm not very happy with it, I'm going to keep that just to look back on and see my progress and whatnot. So yeah.
What's the hardest? So how long have you been tattooing now?
It'll be a month in a couple of days. Which is crazy because I've done so much. So I've got so much needle time, if you like. Like a lot of fake skin. Don't get me wrong. I've tattooed a couple of people, but it feels like it's been longer because I've kind of been in this headspace where it's just like tattoo. Go home. I'm on Procreate, messing about with some designs. If I'm not there, I come here after work. We practice. You give me some tips and stuff. It's very full on. I mean, it doesn't seem to have worn off either.
No.
Normally, when you do something quite a lot, it wears off.
The dopamine kind of hit from it.
Wears off, exactly. I mean, some day, you think if you do it 5 days a week, you want them 2 days off. Where if I have a day off, I go home and I'm like, I wish I was tattooing. You know what I mean? So,
what's the hardest thing you've felt in the last month of tattooing? What do you find the hardest thing to get down? because you've done fake skins. You've done quite a lot of fake skin stuff, to be fair, which is good. I think that's how I would have taught myself back in the day before going down the route I did. But I think fake skin's definitely one of the. I think it allows your hand to get used to the machine pretty quickly.
It's definitely helped me. I mean, when I first tattooed on fake skin, first time ever, I was really shaky regardless. I don't know why that was. Probably just a bit of nerves of like holding a gun or whatever's going on. But then I kind of got rid of that. I kind of got used to the actual machine itself. Yeah. The pen itself. And then when it came to tattooing the first person I tattooed, them shakes come back like a little bit of nerves. But
nerves are something to try and deal with. But I think as I'm tattooing, even when I first started, I think it's something you just have to throw yourself into and be really like in such a confident mindset, saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna smash this. I'm gonna, nothing's gonna worry me." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it kind of felt like that. I probably the first person I tattooed, I was a bit shaky. Obviously, I was taking that into consideration before I was putting the needle in. Yeah, but 5-10 minutes had gone by and it just felt like I was back on fake skin. Yeah. Felt like I was back on fake skin, except it's not on a flat surface and it bleeds. Man. I really think from what I've learnt so far, I definitely need to tattoo more people to become better. Obviously, fake skin's very good. Yeah. But I feel like even though people say tattooing people's easier, I find that the more, I don't know, it's a really weird, but I feel like I need to tattoo more people because you try that little bit harder without even meaning to, because you know that this is going on a human. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? There was that when I was tattooing the first person, I was like, I cannot mess this up. Yeah. I cannot mess this up. And that, even though
it's that pressure, isn't it?
It's that pressure that it's a good pressure, because if I do mess up on fake skin, no one's got to walk around with that. Yeah. I mean, I know there's ways to fix things, but you don't want to make the mistake in the first place. You know what I mean? So,
especially with doing like really dainty things like letters and words and stuff like that, and even symbols and stuff like doing fine line kind of stuff. It's actually quite, like, you think it's easy, but it's not you, but people mostly think, oh, there's not much to it. But when you use really small needle groupings, every bit of wobble is far more noticeable.
I can imagine.
Than using a thicker needle group.
The second person I tattooed was my mum. Her request. She was annoyed that she wasn't my first, but I felt like basically what I did on her, it was just mine and my siblings' initials. Yeah. And it was very dainty and small, and it was a font as well, like a generated font. Yeah, and it was really hard for me to match that font exactly, because it's not my handwriting. When I'm doing it bottom to top, because I didn't want the stencil to rub off. Yeah. But I feel like now I've actually gone through the pressure of doing a really dainty tattoo with a small needle on my mum, who obviously matters a lot, because I'm going to see that forever. Yeah. And I don't want to make my mum walk around with something very bad. I feel like now I've got them pressures out of the way, I'm kind of ready to actually tackle like where I'm going, if that makes sense. I'm really excited for it. Like when I had a bit of nerves build it up to that one, but no, I'm actually really excited just to smash some pieces out, get some proper practice in, and give some people some good tattoos.
Yeah, see, I'm very impressed with how you've picked it up. To be fair, I didn't think, because you kind of stumbled across it, because me and Sam have been friends for how long now? 5-6 years?
Yeah, something like that.
One night he came over and I was tattooing fake skin and stuff, and he gave it a go, and I was surprised at how quickly he took it on. And I was like, I kind of saw some of myself in him, which is why I think I was like, okay, you've got an opportunity now, because like, although I wasn't really looking for an apprentice at that time, I thought, because we hang out so much anyway, like we may as well. I'm going to give you an opportunity to come into something completely different. I know I can see a part of myself in you. So, this is the opportunity that do you want to take it or not? And I know, you know, like working the normal 9 to 5 and stuff, I know for me when I was in plumbing, it was just although there's like, you know, perks of it and stuff like that, you know, it's just nothing beats having your own freedom. Do you know what I mean?
First of all, thank you very much.
Oh, it's all good, bro.
No, I do really appreciate it, because a lot of people have messaged me telling me that how lucky I am, and don't worry, I know how lucky I am, and I tell Ollie that, and I thank him a lot all the time. I don't take him for granted. So firstly, thank you, and secondly, you're correct. I mean, my job, I have a good job. I work for a very good company, surrounded by very nice, supportive people, especially over the last few months, and I'm very grateful for them. So if they ever somehow stumble across this video, which I doubt, I just want to say thank you, because it means the world. But yeah, unfortunately, I think I'm just one of them people that just my end goal isn't to be a 9 to 5 type of guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I understand tattooing, it takes over a lot of your life. Like, but the life it does take over, I feel like it's something you kind of want to take over your life. You know what I mean? And I feel like having that want for it to take over your life is a good thing. Yeah. Whereas like the job I'm in, I don't want that to take over my life. I mean, it's a great job, but it's one of them things. No matter how hard I work, like if I have an off week, I get paid the same amount of money. If I have a really good week, I get paid the same amount of money. You know what I mean? Whereas tattooing, I have an off week, that's gonna just give me more like passion for the next week. Like I can't have a bad week this week because I need to make ends meet, but basically the more work you do, the more money you get paid. Really, and it gives you more. Just makes you want to do better. You know what I mean? More motivation.
Yeah, I think motivation as well, especially someone that's not. Like for me, like I was very. The only thing that does differ with us, I think, is that I was very, very, very creative when I was younger. Like through school and stuff like that, I was a very creative person. I used to even like I'm talking like probably 8 or 9 years old. I was really into drawing, and I was fascinated on different fonts and stuff. Like I remember when GTA San Andreas came out, and you know that like Chicano kind of font. Yeah. I tried to like replicate it and copy that. So I knew there was something creative in me from such a young age. And I think as times have gone on, especially with the tattoo industry, you know, like I'll see people with I'll get stopped in the street, for instance, because people stop me for my tattoos. Yeah. And like as time's gone on, I think tattooing has evolved. Because you see, like people come up to me in the street and they'll be like, "Oh, look at this tattoo," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's sick," and it's blown out. It's not stood the
test of time.
Yeah, the test of time, because you know tattooing was such a underground kind of thing back then. But I think it's interesting the way the tattoo industry is going, and I think the hardware side of things, like the needles, the machines, they're very, very, very advanced now. They're just getting better every year. You know, the innovation within the industry has been massive, which is a really cool thing to see. To be honest, for such a niche industry,
it's almost like it's almost like fashionable to have tattoos now, isn't it? Whereas before it was a bit more like it wasn't really
like you're a skinhead, you're a gangster, it wasn't really
you're
for prison.
Fashion. It was really to kind of let people know like I'm about it. You know what I mean? Like I mean, obviously there were people that had it for fashion, not everyone, but it was normally
sailors and stuff. Like you belong to a group. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You have a tattoo for a reason, not because you think it looks good. Yeah. Whereas me, I mean, I've got a couple of sentimental tattoos, but most of the time I meet up with Ollie and then just determine on the day what I'm getting. As long as it's within a theme. I know if you get the right person to do your tattoo, it doesn't matter if you have a butterfly or a cactus or a kangaroo. Like the right person to do the tattoo will make it look good. And I always say as well, people who know, like for example Ollie, I don't even see Ollie's tattoos.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't
even see Ollie, like where I spend so much time with Ollie, and most people would see Ollie, would be like, wow, he's got loads of tattoos. Like, he's got teardrops and stuff like that on his. He's got his head tattoo. Me, I don't see it one bit. And the weird thing is, this is where I'm getting to with this, is Ollie has so many tattoos. I spend so much time with him. I have no idea what tattoos are where on his body.
Yeah, that's mad,
I just know that he's tattooed.
But like, you don't see the tattoos after you get to know someone.
Yeah,
that's
well,
crazy,
yeah, exactly. It just doesn't.
So
I just see you now, innit? Like, it's very weird. Whereas, like, my family, when I first got tattooed, they were probably all like, "Oh my god, he's got a tattoo, this, that, the other." Like, my family like see me a lot, and they probably still don't know what tattoos I have where. Do you know what I mean? So like,
yeah, it's like when we was tattooing yesterday, and I think you was cleaning the station up or something. I was looking at the tattoo on your arm that I did years ago, I suppose, wasn't it? How many years ago was that?
Oh, years.
I was like, wow, like you've got a full sleeve, which is mad because I didn't even see that.
You never saw the growth of the sleeve.
And I did it.
Yeah, because we spent so much time.
So weird.
You don't even see the growth. Yeah, it's crazy. And I've got my back done, and it's like I forget myself. I have my back done because I've never seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
It's just nuts.
All right, let's get on to a controversial subject because that's what I like to do.
Well, we're going to say it at the same time. 3, 2, 1. AI. I knew it. We didn't practice that. I promise. Like, I just knew it.
That's funny. No. I mean, obviously, me and Sam work quite close together, so we have chats about the way the industry's going and what we think's good, what we think isn't good. Obviously, I have more of a say on that because I've been in it for so long, and he's just coming in, and so I'm giving him advice on certain things and stuff like that, and what to look out for in certain situations and stuff. But AI came up recently, and I think it's quite interesting. It's quite an interesting topic because for the way
I've got an idea.
Go on.
I'm going to ask you, and then you're going to ask me.
Yeah.
AI, yes or no, okay? And we're going to both put our thumbs up or thumbs down at the same time after the count of 3.
Okay.
And then I want you to explain why, and then I'll explain why.
Well, we need to say yes for people that are just listening on Spotify and stuff as well. So we need to go yes.
We're going to say it. All right,
no.
Cool. Right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, yes.
What, AI?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
So you agree with it as well?
I'm for AI, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, let's hear your reasons why. I'm going to ask questions what people might want to ask back to you as well.
Yeah, okay.
For people who might not be for AI.
Yeah,
okay?
try and grill me on and ask questions about
I'm not good at grilling, but I will try and ask the questions some people probably would like to know the answers of if they're against it, because a lot of people just agree with Ollie if they're for it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Then there's going to be people that are just going to nitpick and want to know.
Right. So my reasons for AI is, in an industry that is saturated with copyrighted images anyway, Pinterest, you've got Google. I'm not sure if it applies to Google as much because I'm not too sure how the copyright things work on that. But you've got Pinterest, you've got other sources of reference points, especially for my work.
So what about the people that are against Pinterest anyway? What about the people that...
but who are those people?
I don't know. I'm just asking in case they want to know. So what about people that thoroughly, they strictly only design their own things to tattoo on people? They don't take references from the internet because they don't agree in copyright infringement and whatnot.
Yeah. So well, stay in your lane then, bruv.
That's a good enough answer.
Yeah.
Good enough answer.
Stay in your lane. Let the people that need to do real life references. Not everybody can learn all these different programs and stuff, and maybe people should learn it. 100%, but like, why do some like the way I tattoo, right, is I use as realistic references as possible with good tones, good shadows, to make sure the outcome in my tattoos are going to be as realistic as I can get it, and smooth, and you can distinguish all the tones throughout the piece. So that's the reason I use realistic images. Now, if I was to use, if I was to draw, for instance, I don't know, like, if I was to draw old school traditional or neo traditional or I don't know, anything else, script or something like that, I would stick, like, people will know me for that kind of style. I wouldn't have to go into looking for references if I never needed them, so it wouldn't bother me. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. That is a very good point. It's gonna go.
But I get the reason why people are annoyed at certain things, because I think people can, for instance, people that are, what's those designers that do like custom
graphic designer?
Graphics designer, but it's like, it's called something. I forgot. It's like I forgot the name of it now, but it's like people that do concept images and stuff like that. Concept art.
Okay.
Concept art. I get why, but I think, in my opinion, AI is never going to have that human element to it. I think humans can make things flow way better. Things make sense with a human touch.
Yep.
You see all these AI images. Yeah, they look cool. Yeah, they have these filters over it where like the color gradients over it, which makes it look way better than it is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And when you actually look into the detail of AI, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Which is why I only use AI realistically to do, I don't know, background, like scenery and stuff like that, to create like a landscape that I have in my head, so I can use it within a tattoo, or I will use it for faces. And then build my design around the facial AI reference I've got, but I understand people. I just think you have to. The thing is with AI, right? We're in the 21st century, right? We're in the 21st century. You need to move with the times, otherwise you're going to get left behind.
I agree,
100%.
Before you leave off about the thing about AI doesn't make sense.
Yeah, go on.
I just want to say something I heard on another tattoo podcast, That Tattoo Show.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them, Paul and Chris. Massive fans of your podcast. Just want to make a point that they said. One, they pointed out that AI doesn't make very good. It can't do hands.
No,
it can't do eyes.
The eyes can be a bit funky, but
it's always odd. It's never like they're
never symmetrical.
They're never symmetrical. One's always a bit lazy. Looking the other way or something.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. They pointed out, and I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that before, but they made a good point on that. And they also made a point. I don't know which one of them it was. They made a point of like AI doesn't make sense because it's like 56 billion images dragged off the internet, all put together, and it just layers and makes itself together. But it never understands the functionality of things that it's creating. For example, why we do certain things that we do. For example, we wear shoes because we don't want our feet to be hurt by the gravel outside, and do you know what I mean? It will never understand that. It just thinks we just wear shoes, and I'm thinking until AI can actually understand that, we haven't really got to be worried about it. It's taking everything. Like it's never going to have the human touch because our brains are more powerful than any computer. We just don't know how to use them as good as we know how to use computers. So,
and I think in a world full of content creation and stuff like that, I think the copyright. I need to Google this, to be honest, because I think the copyright laws are, if it's 10% changed, you can't.
I think it's 30,
or is it 30?
I think it's 30%. Yeah.
Copyright images. Let's just have a look. Copyright images, percentage. I don't know.
I think it's 30%. Pretty sure.
Percentages.
Yeah, 3 different, something to do with 3. I'm sure.
How much do I have to change artwork to avoid copyright? Oh, there's actually no percentage by which you must change an image to avoid copyright infringement.
Like 3 fundamental things or something.
While some say that you have to change 10 to 30% of a copyrighted work to avoid infringement. That has been proven.
Okay.
Apparently.
Well, about you was just about saying moving on with the times. I think that is a very key thing in agreeing with AI or not. I mean, it's really not going to affect you in terms of a tattoo artist because you can use them references to your own good. I can understand if it's your job to make up. If you're a realism artist, not even tattooing, and you draw these things, you're thinking like someone's kind of jumping the gun here. I've trained all these years and whatnot.
I understand why people are annoyed. I've gone through a hell of a fucking journey to get to where I am now. And when AI came, the way I think of stuff like this is, right, I can either jump on the fucking bandwagon or I can just go fully against it and just carry on doing what I'm doing. But if that's the way it's going, you'll be very stupid not to go the way it's going because you're going to get left behind.
I used this example yesterday when I was talking about it. It's just like there's a few different generations. I feel like since 2 generations ago, we've been very good at moving on with the times. Yeah. Whereas I think a generation just before that, they stick to the same music that they grew up on. They won't listen to the new chart music. Yeah. Just silly little things like that. And I also find that it's like so for example, all them people in that older generation, they've worked at Tesco their whole life, which is a supermarket near us if you're from abroad. And they're working on the tills, they're scanning the vegetables automatically, this, that, the other. As soon as the self-service checkout comes along and it steals all these jobs of their people, they can't be angry about it, and they wasn't angry about it. They kind of just got on with it, because we all know, even though it might be taking a couple of jobs, it's benefiting hundreds and hundreds of other people when they're coming into shops just to get in and get out. I mean, I will really rarely go to an actual server unless there is no self-service checkout, or unless I've got a trolley full of items. But
so you're saying all the self-serving tills have taken a percentage of some people's jobs?
Of course they have. I mean, they probably got a few people's jobs as well. Someone had to design it, someone has to install it, someone has to service it, someone has to empty it every day. It's still a robot. It can't physically take that money to cameras. Like, I mean, like, there is still other jobs that it creates, but it's also probably taken a few of the checkout staff's jobs away. But 100%. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we live in a world that keeps moving, and you've got you have to keep up. You just have to keep going with it. I mean, it's no one's made AI to annoy a tattoo artist. No one has done that. It's done for many other things, and I think the money men have grabbed it by the horns and just tried to rinse it for a little bit more, just to get some money back that they've invested into it.
I mean, it's millions and millions. It's
millions, isn't it? So, and think about Midjourney, right? How many people subscribe to that within like the first week?
I'm pretty sure it's over 10 million now.
That's $30 a month. Times
300 million a month.
Times 10
30 million a month. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, it's 300, isn't it?
It was
300. 30 times 10 million a month.
10 is. What did you say? 10?
30 times 10 is 300.
Yes.
Yeah, 300 million. Yeah.
Sorry, I was wrong.
I thought I was wrong.
No,
right. 300 million a month, bro. That's crazy.
Like, so just think about that in the eyes of a 300 million a month. Like.
Oh yeah.
So it's madness. It's selfish. No one needs that much money.
No.
But obviously they've invested a lot of money into this.
Yes, but it's like, what are the real reasons people are using AI for?
Because it's fun, man. I almost guarantee.
No. I mean, in a bigger sense, like this was just a spin-off of what people are creating AI.
Probably just to understand. It's probably like nowhere
to
near
cure cancers and stuff.
It's nowhere near advanced enough to actually do what it needs to do right now. And I think the money men know that, and that's why they're putting it out for sale.
And people get and bad press is good press, isn't it? So people, there's going to be a divide. It's like, political and all this stuff. There's always going to be two sides to everything, which just creates a massive discussion bubble, and it's probably going to stay. And the thing is as well, the people that are suing the AI companies for making this, they're just looking for money as well.
Yeah,
that's all they're doing, because they don't want to move with the times, and they're scared that they, before it takes their work, instead of trying to go down the route or trying to innovate in a way that it doesn't take your work. I think they're just trying to stop it before maybe it does. Maybe they're lazy. Maybe they don't want to. Do you know what I mean?
I can only think of one reason why this AI is really bad to be in the hands of the public, and that is because people have been known already to manipulate the wording that you can put in there, which is actually monitored, and there are some words you can't look up and stuff. Like if you write something too gory, it just won't let you.
And you get a strike as well.
Well, there you go. Yeah. People have manipulated their words to make AI create something that is not so friendly, based on the amount of images that are on the internet that should not be. The deep dark places of the internet, which no doubt AI has covered. I do not doubt that 1 second. That's very bad. But I think AI in the form it's in right now, where all it does is really generate some images, it might be able to do a bit of speech to text or something like that. I think this is pretty safe at the moment. When it starts to get really, really advanced, where it can start when it can start to understand functionality of the things we do and the reasons why we do them, that's when it's going to be dangerous for the public to own.
Because then it can start rewriting stuff itself. It's going to have its
own mind, because everything you write in is only feeding it.
I mean, what's that film Will Smith was in, iRobot, bro? It's the same shit. Have you seen? You must have seen iRobot.
No, I know what iRobot is. Is iRobot?
Bruv, it is the sickest.
I have seen iRobot. Yeah, I have seen iRobot.
What?
I saw it in cinema.
Like I'm going to
take a guess. It was probably 2008.
Nah, it's before. It's before.
I see one of his films. Okay, everyone's.
Have you seen Sonny? Yeah. iRobot is the what a film.
Will Smith. I'll tell you what film I'm thinking of.
iRobot. 1990. Oh no, it's not.
No, it's not that, bro.
2004.
I was close, right?
Close, very close.
So that might have been the one. I'm going to look at the. I haven't seen that.
So basically, the whole synopsis of iRobot is they get so advanced and one goes rogue.
I was on about Hancock. I haven't seen iRobot.
Oh, mate, you need to watch
2008 though. Wow, I got that right. I watched it in cinema when I was in secondary school. Yeah, so I know I'm not big on. Not that I'm not big on Will Smith films. I'm just not a big film guy. Like.
iRobot is an eye opener because of how early it was, 2004. We're now going into that kind of society where AI is taking over. Yeah. Like, if you've seen the robot videos that I've seen, like they are like they've set up a big room full of like boxes and stuff like that, and like things that they have to overcome, and they're jumping around like fucking humans, bruv. It's like mental.
They've got their own brains.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like they do quick equations in their head to navigate through this room. It's crazy.
I think we should close this topic before people start to switch off, because I'll be honest with you, all I actually see over the internet at the moment is in the tattoo world anyway, is people talking about AI, and I feel like we've covered a lot. We're both for it. We're only because I feel like we understand we're moving in the times, and it can only benefit realism in that aspect.
The last thing I want to say about it is, I think there's certain sectors that will that AI will help within the tattoo industry. You know, I'm just talking about the tattoo industry. I'm not talking about anybody else outside the tattoo industry, like graphic designers and concept artists and stuff like that. You know, you like I can't give my own opinion about that because I'm not in that industry. But within the tattoo industry,
yeah, sure, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say I think AI does help certain industries with certain sectors within the industry of tattooing, especially realism artists, because they can find a reference they have in their head but can't find in real life.
Exactly, and in the nicest way possible. Unfortunately, the tattoo industry will not change whether AI goes forward or not. Yeah. So you may as well, even if you really don't like it for one reason or another, just accept it.
Yeah, I was fine without AI before, and I'll be fine with it if it happens.
Exactly, so. Yeah. I mean, I hope it doesn't actually affect anyone where it puts them out of pocket or
anything
of course,
like that.
But I doubt it, really doubt it will, because...
But
if you're a realism artist, I cannot understand why you don't like AI. If you're not a realism artist, it shouldn't matter to you because you make your own designs. Well, a lot of you make your own designs, and neo-trad stuff is like, you know what I mean?
Neo-trad's it.
It's so cool.
I love stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
But you're still going to have to find a reference from somewhere, unless you're very extremely talented and you've been doing it for years. I mean, just drawing. Then I understand that.
Pinterest is full of copyrighted.
Dude, Pinterest anyway. Is the like I constantly get all things that I've pinned.
All Midjourney is what you write on Pinterest, right? But it's actually
it makes it different.
Exactly, but it's creating it for you that no one else has ever seen.
Yeah, because it makes changes.
Exactly.
And it overlays images. So really, if you're going to go after Midjourney or any AI, you need to go after these websites like Pinterest and stuff like that. Yeah, because that's far worse.
That's where it's getting half its images from anyway.
Yeah, I know. So, like that's far worse. So people can't just have their cake and eat it. Like you need to go for the whole lot, and then who's going to be for or against it, especially within the realism tattoo industry. Like,
oh wow, well you'll have to go out and take pictures of statues yourself, mate.
Exactly,
you'll have to go out to every country and take a picture of all these statues, and then go back and try and somehow change the saturation and everything to make it work. Yeah, stick it through Romania.
Exactly, like people like I see both sides, but to me it just seems like people just want to jump on a bandwagon that they don't really understand, because one, they're not in the realism sector, and two, I just think
if you're against AI, sit down and have an adult discussion with someone who's for it. Don't argue with them. Sit there and explain both your points, and I guarantee you'll come out of it feeling much better about the fact that AI is here to stay, and if I don't like it, I've just got to deal with it. It will not.
Well, it might not be here to stay if they get lawsuit.
I mean, they've got so many lawsuits, but regardless, just pretend it is here to stay.
And write in the comment section as well, and let me know if you're for AI or against, because I'd like to know. I put a video up on my Instagram. You can see down here. you can check it out if you want. And that
there's a lot of backlash.
There was a lot of backlash, but it was almost 50-50.
Sure, but that does not get. I don't know why someone thinks it's okay.
But a lot of people that I saw against it. I know we keep going on about AI. Right?
Yeah, we need to stop this. Yeah.
I know. All the people that were against it were people that actually drew way different things than realism. Yeah. And I understand that. But it's not. It's nothing to do with you. So just butt out.
Yeah, really. And in the nicest way possible. It's okay. In the nicest way possible. It's fine, Ollie, because a lot of people who wrote on your video, they said some really nasty things, and it's just like this is kind of going on to a different topic, and I feel quite weird going onto it. But
go on.
You should. I don't know who you think you are, where you can sit at home and write an evil, derogatory, horrible comment on someone's post and think that that's going to make you a better person for enlightening this person by absolutely tearing them a new one and being rude. That is, do you know how many people have like commit suicide because of things like that? You should never. If you've got a really bad comment, it's fine. Everyone's allowed to have their opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's free speech, isn't it?
Of course, but have your opinion in an adult way. Don't start insulting someone to make them feel worse, because people do go to bed at night and have thoughts in their head. And it does cut them.
I'm just a very strong, thick-skinned individual.
Yeah, luckily, but we've lost a lot of people who aren't.
100%.
So, and that's 100%. Just, and I guarantee, and social media is a big cause of that, because it gives everyone the freedom of speech to talk to anyone they want in the world.
Yeah, and they can say anything they want.
Whereas all these people who say this stuff would never say it to someone's face. Like, imagine all the celebrities that have, you know what I mean, that have killed themselves. Not even just celebrities, like just the average Joe. That would have still been here if people had just kept their horrible opinions to themselves.
100%.
Or there's nothing wrong with voicing your opinion. Just say it in the correct manner.
Yeah,
exactly.
And if you are suffering from mental health and do feel suicidal, then please seek some help, because it's definitely one of them topics where you can get help. So I just wanted to spread a bit of awareness for that as well, because we all go through shit in life, and I think it's good to speak out, because you're not alone. So yeah, there you go, bruv. Right, next topic, Samuel. So what shall we talk about? We're kind of just winging this show, by the way.
We're winging this, and we was going to make a little bit at the beginning saying that this isn't going to be strictly tattoos, but if it ends up being strictly tattoos, so be it.
It's just a nice discussion. Like, I want this video to be, I want this podcast to get the vibe between,
we're just chilling.
The link we've got. Yeah,
we're just chilling. Like, we are best mates. Like, we're just chilling. Like, we have these conversations without a camera.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah,
and it's quite nice for me, because I kind of want to get used to being in front of a camera, because we've got good plans coming up.
Oh yeah.
No, there's no big secrets in it or anything like that. Nothing fancy. We're not hiding anything. It's just that we do have. Everyone has goals, and one of our goals includes a camera, I guess.
Camera?
Yeah. Well, we're going to be going to.
Yes. So, if you didn't know, if you don't follow me on Instagram, there's a tattoo convention coming up. I'm going to be traveling. Well, hopefully, we're going to be traveling a lot this year. So this is some plans we've got coming out. We're heading out to America, hopefully, for I don't know however
Canada.
long. Yeah, and Canada.
We'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Canada, hopefully America.
Shout out Devon Tattoo.
Devon.
Hive Tattoos.
Yes, in Canada.
Cool guys.
Where's the place called?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It begins with an S, I think.
I'm not too sure.
But yeah, so we're going to be traveling around. I've got a convention in Germany, the Gods of Ink convention, which is a massive honour for me, because it's the biggest tattoo convention in the world.
Who are you going there with? Dynamite? Who are you going there with?
Huh?
Who are you going there with?
You?
No. Whose booth?
Oh, Dynamic. Yeah. So I'm going to be going with I'm going to be working under Dynamic's booth, their section within the industry, within the tattoo convention. Sorry. So. That's a super. I'm really stoked about that, to be honest.
And also, we're going to try and just get to a lot in the UK. And I mean, not that you have to video all this stuff, but
I just feel like I feel like there's
like the idea of kind of videoing my journey in the tattoo industry, because I bet you wish there was a lot more of. I mean, you got a lot of footage out, but I bet you wish there was even more where you can go back and be like, look how far I've come.
Yeah,
and I feel like that would be motivation for me, even if it's like in 6 month increments. Like, if I look back where I now and what I'm doing compared to in 6 months' time, which is hopefully a lot better, I'll be proud of myself. Or if 100%. I don't make the progress that I think I should be making, I need to know I've got to step it up a gear. I've got to do something to make sure that this keeps getting better. And filming is not only good to document for you guys, so everyone can have something cool to watch, but it's good for me as well.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for a reference point. So, like in 6 months' time, you can look back 6 months and think, "Oh, actually, this is how far I have come." Yeah, and for me as well, like this is going to be a thing that I've said to you as well before. But I always say to people that are coming into the industry, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be in that kind of you just have to be a realist, really. Like if you're not getting any better after 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, it's probably not for you.
If you have put in the work.
Yes, yeah, of course. I mean, everyone has to put...
exactly. The reason why I'm saying it is because if people are probably thinking, I've done this for a few months and I don't feel better, it's probably
but they've done like 3 tattoos.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't do it over a time period, do it as like the amount you've tattooed, because someone might tattoo 10 people in a month and some people might tattoo 10 people in a year.
Yeah.
You're going to get the same progression.
And
you know what I mean? Like,
well, it depends, because
obviously people are different. People are different, but I mean, if the same person tattoo 10 people in a month and then the same person tattoo 10 people in a year, they're going to obviously see the same progression but over a month span compared to a year. So then tattoo 120 people in a year and watch how much you progress compared to the 10 people you would have tattooed. So it is work rate. It's definitely
and
work
I think
rate.
Every single tattoo, like the difference between me as well and noticing my journey was I was looking at people that have been tattooing 10, 15 years, for instance, and they'd kind of like got to a level I thought was good at the time because I wasn't in the industry. And every single tattoo I did, I felt like every single one I did just got better.
Yeah, good.
Like every single one. Even the way I held machine, I put the ink in, like everything just felt better.
Yeah, good. I mean...
And that's and I think you found the same as that as well.
Yes,
like,
I mean I feel like
you've only done 2 human tattoos, but they're very different. So when Pete comes along, I think you'll
well, that's it. I mean, it's tattooing coming from a newcomer. This industry, I know because a lot of you guys have been in this a long time, and as a newcomer, it's very intimidating because. One, you're surrounded by people you didn't realise how much talent they actually had until you've learnt a little bit of their craft to understand, wow, that is very good. Like, and also, Ollie made a point earlier that there is so much stuff out there now that's evolved tattooing. Like, there is I could probably, as a newcomer, name like 10 different brands of needles alone. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so it's very intimidating. It's like, what do I get? So fortunately, I've got Ollie mentoring me, so he can push me. And Ollie likes to believe he uses the best stuff, and I believe that too. And that helps me because I've gone from using a specific. I've used Quadrant cartridges, and then I practice with some other ones we've just kind of had spare laying around, and I can tell the difference based off that. So a newcomer might just like only be able to afford to buy a certain brand, right? Yeah. They've used them and they're like wondering why they're not getting better. Why am I not getting better? It's because you haven't explored all the options, but there are so many options. You kind of need a mentor or someone to lead you down the right path.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think a lot of people in the beginning can't afford the best stuff because it's so expensive.
It is. It's very expensive.
And the price difference between, I don't know. I mean, even the Cheyenne carts that you've been using, they're good. They're still a really good brand. They are. But Quadrant are just next. They're just next level.
No, they are great. They are actually really good. They're really good. But there's just something. Maybe it's a placebo thing. I don't know. I don't actually know because I haven't used them enough to be. My opinion isn't like. Well, I'm giving my honest opinion, but I just can't get. I don't know if it's a valid opinion.
Professional opinion.
Yeah, because I'm not a professional yet.
But you will be.
I've tried them, and I can kind of understand why Ollie prefers one brand to another. I can really,
because I explain my reasons behind it.
And so. I can genuinely feel the reasons that he's telling me about. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, man.
I think for me the one thing that I'm very good at in my career, and anything I do really, I think I've just got a natural thing for it. Is like when I go in to learn something. I will learn from I'll take different bits of information from different sources, and I'll join the dots, you know, cross the T's and stuff, and just make it all fit together in an easy way to learn a very hard craft to try and master.
Yes,
I think there's things, I know you, for instance, have said a couple of times to me that you want to get into this, you want to get into that, but like for me, there's things that I did that I wish I didn't do at the beginning because it's hindered my progress in a sense of styles of tattooing. Yeah. I know you haven't really said much about black and grey stuff, but I know that's what you want to get into.
100%.
But it's you're probably not going to be ready for a few months yet, which is, I'm just going to be honest. But you have to get down all the fundamental techniques down,
packing, line and shading.
Yeah,
like 3 fundamentals.
Yeah.
Once you've got them down, you can kind of go down.
You can then start to look at really simple references that use all of them together, and then you can do that in different ways, and then you go up a bit like into an intermediate, and then you can start like portraits and stuff like that where you have to blend very similar tones together
very subtly as well, and
that's like the hardest thing you can do.
And you've made a point to me as well about what I'm kind of learning about as well. It's like it is a lot of it's all in the stencil.
Yes,
it's all in the stencil. If you want to become good at realism, Ollie says it is all mostly in the stencil.
Yeah, if like the stencil phase is the most important thing for black and grey realism. I think the stencil, like your tattoo's only going to be as good as your stencil. Like facts, like unless there's people that tattoo without a stencil, which is insane. That's just natural gifted.
But like, for someone getting into realism, you'd probably express them that they need to make sure they get the stencil down properly before they even. You're going to confuse yourself if you overcomplicate it, and you're going to not have enough detail if you don't dot the specific things that you're looking for, shades, differences, and shapes, and do you know what I mean? Like just because the person has like a nose doesn't mean it needs to be lined, if that makes sense. You can as long as you, but then it's like things like you have to simplify the stencil so it doesn't overcomplicate you. But if you get more details in, because I use 2 different ways of stenciling. I use the tattoo stencil app from Pony Lawson. Shout out to Pony Lawson. I use his sometimes, but it doesn't work for everything I do. So then I'll hand stencil my other things. But I've noticed in portraits it does work for. I get way more detail in because it takes it from the actual image, so it's taking the human error out of it, so you get way more detail in that tattoo stencil app. But it's a lot more confusing to try and achieve. So but you learn as you go along. You learn as you go along, and I think there's a lot of people that think, okay, they're trying to focus on getting better, but they know they're good at shading, they know they're good at lining, they know they're good at packing black and stuff like that, and taking the time and doing a proper solid tattoo. But to get to the next level, they don't necessarily think about, maybe I should work on my stenciling more, because it's just such an easy thing to do. Yeah, they think
and they're so used to it.
Stenciling's just a thing you I'll just
stencil this, go through the motions,
this, and then I'll tattoo you as best as I can. But when they don't realise they can tattoo so much better
when their stencil's a lot more advanced. 100%. And that's one thing I've always this is I've not really heard about anybody speak about the stencil phase, and I know there are people that speak about it, but in a sense of trying to hit the next level in tattooing, the stencil phase is so important.
Do you believe, Ollie, that you should always hand stencil?
No, because I think there's pros and cons to it. Like I said, like the pros to it are, it kind of gives you like I always use this analogy of F1 drivers. They do practice laps and stuff like that to get used to the acclimatise themselves to the track, so they know what they're going to be doing. And I think hand stenciling will definitely do that for you, because you get into a rhythm with your hand when you're stenciling, and you kind of see as you're going through the stencil, you're like, okay, you're like in your head subconsciously, maybe you're going, okay, I could stipple this bit here, I could pack this bit in here, maybe I'm just going to leave this bit out here or just smooth it out here. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's like a rundown of the tattoo before you do it. Whereas, but there's always going to be human error, so it's not going to be as accurate as if you was to use a tattoo. Precise as if you was to use a tattoo stencil app. But the drawbacks on that are that it's way more confusing to follow.
90% of the time, if you use a pre-stencil app, if you like, whatever you want to call it,
you have to make sure
you have to alter it yourself anyway, because it might do the wrong thing to an extent, or you may have to change the saturation, or you have to do something with. You have to alter it one way or another. So it's never going to be perfect, so you've got to understand that straight away. And if you do hand stencil, like Ollie says, it might not be as precise, but you kind of get the emotions in place, ready for the tattoo you're about to tattoo on someone's body.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a bit more like you can learn the bit of art that you're about to craft onto someone. Before, instead of just pressing a button, that will do. Stick it on.
And
if you're doing like I don't know. So tell me your opinion. If you're doing like a tiny little, small little, I don't know, like a heart or something, just put it through the stencil app, right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing you need to learn of a heart. You know what I mean? It's like
if it's something simple and stuff like that, like you don't necessarily have to draw it. Like hearts are quite a hard thing to draw anyway. Like
you want it to be precise. So
you want it to be symmetrical. So just find a reference of a heart or a star or something like that. You know, it's more for the like complex black and grey realism, like statues and stuff like that. You can simplify it down so much, but then it's going to lack that bit of.
And like animals, the fur never comes out right.
Yeah, the fur. Yeah, so animal textures are quite hard to do because you have to get into certain techniques and you have to make sure they're down solid. Like fur, for instance, is quite hard. And really short fur, like the nose of a lion or a tiger, for instance.
You know, there's hair there, but it doesn't flick off.
It doesn't flick up, and you can't get like proper flow. It
needs to be some sort of little fuzzy.
So then you have to switch your technique up and stuff, which is all right, but it's a lot harder to do that. But then animal portraits and human portraits are the hardest things to do, in my opinion. But there's a process. If you get the process down in your stencil, it's going to be way easier for you to tattoo that. But then there's people like David Vega that his stencils are stupidly non-complex.
They're simple.
But they're simple. But they are. But
he's a master. To have that. He's a master.
He has craft. Of course. Yeah. He has the ability where he just uses the stencil to map out where he is on the reference, and then he'll use his own initiative to say, I'm going to put all of that in because he sees it all in the reference.
Which at his level you can do.
Yeah, but like some people have got that and some people haven't. Which is fine. So you just want to work out the best for you.
He might find that easier.
Exactly.
Whereas some people might be like that. Might confuse someone's brain, like looking back and forth at a reference, thinking, is that a little bit higher than it needs to be, that bit of shading? Whereas you just make it easy for yourself. Yeah. If you feel like if you feel like you are good enough to do it without, just I don't know, man. It's just one of them things, really, isn't it? Like don't make things harder than they need to be for yourself.
Yeah.
If the stencil's getting in your way and you think, it's annoying me a bit because I shouldn't have gone around this bit of shading. Yeah. Maybe try it without. Yeah. Maybe try it without, and then just determine afterwards what is actually better for you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, I think that's literally it.
Should we change topic and then have a little closer?
Yeah, how long have we been going for? 53 minutes, mate. That's flown by, isn't it? Okay, so let me ask you. I mean, let me ask you. What's been your best moment in tattooing so far? Like why did you want to get into this industry? Okay. That's quite hard.
I can answer that really easily, but probably can't answer it very advanced, if you like.
Well, why did you want to come into the industry?
I needed a purpose.
Yeah.
I needed a purpose that could take me to a place where I feel like I have more control over my own life. I mentioned before, I don't like the idea of being a 9-to-5 guy. Nothing against it. It's just not me. I mean, I like the idea of. I love the fact that I've known Ollie for years. I like the fact that if he really wanted to, he could pack his bags, move to France tomorrow, and he's got clients there that he can still earn money and live the French lifestyle. you can go to America, you can go anywhere in the world, as long as there's a demand for tattoos, obviously. But then again, people, when you get such a name for yourself and your work is good enough, people will travel to see you. Do you know what I mean? So there's plenty of people you've had on your podcast that most of their clients don't even like live near them. They just they're constantly booked up because people will travel to come to you to have your work. And I like the idea is that you're not really holding back anything for anyone else in this industry. If you want to do something, you can go and do it. And
that's given you inspiration.
I've had a lot of inspiration. I've had a lot of downtime recently, where I've needed something to lift my spirit a bit, and I genuinely have tried lots of new things in the last couple of months, loads of new things, and tattooing is definitely the one thing. It's the only thing that fully submerges the other things going on in my life and just takes me away in this moment where I'm so concentrated on something I'm really interested in. For example, I've been doing guitar lessons. I've always wanted to learn how to play guitar, and I really enjoy it. But it doesn't take me away like this does. It doesn't take me to that place where I'm just like, I love this. Like even when I'm not tattooing and I'm just chilling on Procreate, like. And I've got some music in the background, and I don't really have time to think, which is
therapeutic, isn't it?
It's very therapeutic, and because there's so many different avenues in tattooing as well. Like on Procreate, at first I was just learning how to stencil basic references. Now I'm trying to learn how to create my own scripts, and maybe I'm diving in too deep, but I've got to try things to find out, right?
Yeah.
So there's so many different avenues where if I'm getting bored of creating my own script, I can go back to just stenciling references, or I can learn how to stencil black and grey realism, or I can try fine line, and you know what I mean, there's so many different things that will really keep me occupied and my other thoughts fully submerged. Do you know what I mean? So that's probably the main reason for this. And man, and I mean my best mate tattoos, it makes life a lot easier for me. Makes life a lot easier because I've always got someone on the other end of the line that can help me with my issues.
I think you're definitely gonna not cut corners, but you're gonna
skip the queue.
You're gonna save a lot of time with me being here.
But I'm not trying to make Ollie's head big, but there's another thing before when I've looked at like, well, I've always think it's good to have a mentor of some sort in the thing you're going into. Like at my work, I'm in construction. One of the directors of my company, he is down to a T my mentor. He's very, very good at what he does. He's very stern, but I aspire to be like him in the construction industry. And the main reason why you should have a mentor, in my opinion, is that everyone makes mistakes, right? It's inevitable. It's inevitable. But
it's how you learn.
If I can learn from Ollie's mistakes, so I don't have to make them, I'm saving myself all those years. And
that's what I would do. And so I'm going to close this podcast off by saying, if you're looking to get into this industry, it's because of how saturated it is right now. It's going to be extremely hard unless you've got a mentor that knows what they're doing and that does put out high quality work.
Do it for the right reason.
Get into
this industry.
But you'll soon know who's in it for the right reason and who's not, especially as a mentor like myself, because you can give all the information to someone in the world. It's just how they want to perceive that information and how they want to take it on, and if they listen, which is more importantly. And you have to eat, sleep, and breathe it to be successful in this industry, and that's what I did over the however many years I've been doing it, like 8-9 years I've been doing this now. I've sacrificed a lot of relationships, time, everything to get to where I am today, and now I'm at a level where I can travel, and I am very lucky with the clientele I get and stuff like that, and people that trust me and you know, trust me with their skin and stuff. So and all the people that follow me on this channel, for instance. So if you want to get successful, you need to want it. Like, you need to want to put every bit of your last free time into this for you to, because if you don't, it's just going to take way longer, and by that point you don't know how saturated it's going to be. So it's one of them industries where you get out of it as much as you put in, and I think
give it all you got. And if you give it all of you can't not succeed if you give it every single possible thing you've got. You can physically not succeed.
And I'm the living proof that, yes, I know I was creative and stuff, and I could draw in school, but I didn't draw for like over 10 years when I left, until I started tattooing. And I'm the product of someone that maybe has a unique brain in the sense of how I take information in and use it and join the dots and mold all the different parts of information I've picked through the years of learning. But you can get to a level where you are a very good artist technically, and I think that's one thing I struggle with, because I haven't had that art background as such. Learning, Photoshop and stuff like that. I've just taught myself everything basically, and I've had a couple of mentors here and there, and I've gone out of my own way and used my initiative to seek other information from very good artists around the world a few years back. But I think like I said, like the more time you put in, the more you're going to get out of this. But
and being in this game a month, I can really, really see that.
Otherwise, you're just going to slow down.
I can really see that.
And then you'll, like, for me, I have this thing inside me where I just want to, like, if I'm not jealous of people, but I'll see what
envious.
Someone's doing. Yeah, I've got that hunger to be better than them. Like, I set myself
not
out,
even in a competitive way.
No, 100% a competitive way. For my own self.
Yeah, sure, fine. No, that's fine. Not because you want to make them know you're better than them, but
no, of course.
You're competing with yourself.
Yes, exactly that.
Which is the main person to be competing with.
And I think it's good, maybe I said it in the wrong way, but I think it's good to have role models and standards of work you want to aspire to be like. I get messages every day on my Instagram about people that say I'm gonna be as good as you one day, or if not better, and I say fucking go for it, bruv. Yeah, 100%. I hope I'm in competition at a tattoo convention one day, and you've watched me from years ago, and I'm now competing, my final tattoo against your final tattoo, and I hope you win. I really hope you win, because it's going to be testament to you and your hard work and your skill and your
as long as when you're climbing that ladder to reach that level,
stay fucking humble.
Stay humble, and don't drag people down on your way up, because
100%.
I don't know it personally, but I can see it's lonely at the top. You want to be winning with your whole team and not by yourself.
Yeah.
So,
and on that note, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, and good night.
Yeah, good night. Tattooing is cool as fuck.
It is very cool as fuck. You're right about that.